Hi everybody. Boy, I sure do miss you. So I was thinking, what could I do that would let me feel like I was having a lot of fun with all my friends? I decided to make Play-Doh. I want you to make Play-Doh with me. All right, number one rule, check with your parents, make sure it's okay, because we're going to use boiling water, and that can be very dangerous. Some of you might remember that we made this Play-Doh recipe at Peace Camp a few years ago. It's the same recipe my mom taught me. So let's get going. First thing you need to do is check with your parents, right? And then you need to use the kitchen rules that we all know. The most important of which is go wash your hands. And I know that you all know how, right? 20 seconds. 20 seconds is happy birthday twice. You could sing it to yourself or do the alphabet song 2 times. All right, and I'll wait for you. Hopefully you came back with your hands washed. Now, here's all of our ingredients that we need to pull together. Here's our recipe right here. You're gonna need 2 cups of boiling water, a half a cup of salt, 2 tablespoons, that's this size, of cream of tartar, 1/4 cup of oil, 2½ cups of flour, and then food coloring, whatever color you like. But I think today I'm gonna make it blue. I have a good friend whose favorite color is blue. Okay, so let's get going. The way I like to make it is I put all of my wet ingredients, including my blue food coloring, in a big bowl. And then in a smaller bowl, I combine all of my dry ingredients. So I put 2½ cups of flour, 2 tablespoons of cream of tartar, ½ cup of salt, all in this bowl. And I mixed it up with my finger spatula. Now, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna measure out 1/4 cup, that's this size, and I'm gonna put it in my big bowl. Okay, so there's a 1/4 cup of oil, goes in my big bowl. Then, to my oil, I'm actually gonna go ahead and add some of my food coloring. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 for good measure, 7 drops. Now we're going to be very, very careful and add our boiling water. How much? 2 cups. Okay. I have this handy dandy boiler over here and it's all set. So I'm going to be very careful, and this is where I would get help from my parents. Okay. Now I'm going to add my 2 cups of boiling water to my oil and food coloring. Oh, look. Isn't that pretty? So when that's all mixed together, now we're going to add our flour mixture. Oh boy, I'm excited to see how it turns out. Again, I hope you're being very careful. Don't forget to clean up your mess too, because it can get very, very messy. I love Play-Doh. Sometimes people add different kinds of smells or fragrance to their Play-Doh. I made some for Raina because she's my kid, you know. I still make Play-Doh for my kid. And I put peppermint smell in it because she likes peppermint smell. Okay, here we go. We're gonna mix, 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 mix. Keep mixing. And look, it's not quite blue enough for me. So I'm gonna add some more blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. More drops. And we'll stir, 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 Now listen, have your folks look at it, and if it looks like it's a little bit runny, it's okay. Add a little more flour, because what we're going to do eventually is we're going to roll it out and start to use our hands to make it more Play-Doh-y. I keep adding a little bit of color because I'd like a little more blue in mine. And you know what? Because it's your Play-Doh, you're making it your way, you can make it any color you want. I hope after you make your Play-Doh that you can send a picture to me. Go ahead and post it on the church website if that's okay with your folks. And if that's not okay, maybe you could just snap a shot and send it to me. And I will give you my email. Your folks have it, so you can send it to me on my email. Because I'd love to see what you've done. Okay, so here we have our Play-Doh, and I tested it, and it's still warm. But we're starting to get there. I'm going to add a little more flour to mine so that I can get it to be more like this. See that consistency? How thick and fun that is. Okay. I'm going to wipe my hands first so I don't get any Play-Doh inside my flour. Okay, so maybe I'll just use about 1/4 cup. Okay, now, oh, stir and stir and stir. It's getting much better. Now, I'm just going to roll this out on my table. But first, I'm going to put a bunch of flour down. Now, this part's important for you to get help from your parents, okay? Because they may not want flour on their table. So you could always put down a sheet of saran wrap. You know, plastic wrap. Cover your table with that. Even foil would work, I think, but you might want to, I'm trying to think, it might stick to that. So, I guess if you cover it well enough with flour, you'll be okay. Right, now I'm going to get all kinds of flour on my hands and start to just pull my Play-Doh together. Right now it almost looks like I'm making pasta, doesn't it? I'm not. I'm making Play-Doh. Ooh, it's soft and warm and fun. I'm going to get a little more flour because it doesn't feel quite strong enough yet. Okay, so you can see that we're just starting to really get a good Play-Doh consistency. Now this part is interesting. Let me tell you why. Because our recipe calls for 2.5 cups of flour, right? But yet you have to add more when you start to knead it. And it's kind of, every batch is different. So sometimes you have to add 1/2 cup more. Sometimes you have to add a full cup more. And my Play-Doh's a little soft right now. So I think I'm going to add a little bit more. And I've already added almost a whole cup more. So don't be afraid. This is part of the fun. You just jump right in and keep adding flour till you feel like it's exactly the way you want it, where you like your Play-Doh to be. Okay? Ooh, okay. Starting to get really Play-Doh-y here. Fun, fun, fun. I bet some of you have made bread too with your folks. So you know what it's like to knead dough, where you pull it together and then you push it away, pull it together, push it away. It's kind of fun, isn't it? I hope all of you are helping out around the kitchen since you're home more these days. And I have worked in the kitchen with a lot of you, and I know what good helpers you are. And some of you are pretty amazing cooks, by the way. Okay, there we go. We have a big old wonderful ball of Play-Doh. And do you know that I'm not a kid anymore? But I love to play with Play-Doh. And do you know when I like to play with Play-Doh? Sometimes when I'm feeling kind of anxious, it makes me feel like I can do something with my hands. And it's better than just eating snacks all the time. So, I hope you enjoyed making Play-Doh with me. I sure enjoyed making Play-Doh and thinking about you. And there we go. We got to make Play-Doh together. Now, I just want to recap real fast. Remember, ask your parents' permission. Make sure you have all the right ingredients. Wash your hands before and after. And when you're starting to knead, remember that kneading process that we did with our Play-Doh? You need to have about 2 or 3 cups of flour on the side, because you need to keep adding flour as you're putting it together. Okay, I hope you had as much fun as I had. And I can't wait to see you all again.